Every other alchemist out there treats top-grade spiritual herbs like their absolute lifeline, but you treat the stinking rotten dregs that others throw away as if they were priceless treasures, while others use legendary divine furnaces to refine their pills. Your entire process relies on pushing a wooden wheelbarrow to dig through trash heaps every single day. Everyone mocks you, calling you a complete and utter lunatic. Even the sex supervisors spit on you, calling you a lowlife who was born to crawl, but they have no idea that you've found the legendary Miria alchemy system, a system that can turn complete trash into legendary treasure. With it, you can take the foulest waste and turn it into divine pills that would make the entire cultivation world go absolutely wild. Right now, outside the Qingyon sex alchemy chambers, a brutal, humiliating scene is unfolding. "Get the hell out of here!" a furious voice roars, followed immediately by a heavy, sickening thud. You watch as Uncle Wang is kicked through the air, flying like a tattered sack, before crashing hard onto the stone floor, just inches away from your feet. Supervisor Zhang, I beg of you. He coughs up a mouthful of black, foul residue and struggles to crawl back over on his knees. He slams his forehead against the stone floor, over and over. "Please, just spare me one. Just one low-grade chi-gathering pill. My son is about to die." The obese Supervisor Zhang, his face twisted with grease and malice, looks down at him. With utter disgust, he kicks Uncle Long's hand away. His eyes are filled with pure, cold disdain. "A worthless piece of trash like you thinks you deserve the sex medicine? Keep whining and I'll destroy your cultivation myself." Standing in the shadows, holding onto your wooden wheelbarrow, you don't say a single word. Your eyes are completely hollow, masked by a dead, numb silence. Your name is Lin Mo. You are the lowest, most pathetic waste disposal servant in the entire Qingwan sect. Your only job is to haul away the putrid waste from the alchemy chambers. Your life is even cheaper than Uncle Wang's, who merely stokes the furnace fires. Your knuckles turn white as you grip the wheelbarrow's handles with all your might. But what can you actually do? In a place like this, your life is worth less than the dirt on the ground. Sure enough, Supervisor Zhang's rage instantly pivots right toward you. "What the hell are you standing there for? Today's waste has already gone completely rotten. Get your ass moving and haul it out of here." "Yes, sir." Keeping your head low, you push the wooden cart into the alchemy room, a place whose foul stench still makes your stomach churn, even after smelling it 1,000 times. Inside, black, slimy medicine waste is piled high like a mountain. "Hurry up and load it!" Supervisor Zhang barks, violently kicking your wooden cart. "Exactly 37 pounds. Not a single ounce short. If you dare to slack off, don't expect to eat a single bite today." Without saying a single word, you pick up the iron shovel, scooping the foul-smelling waste dregs into the cart, shovel by shovel. It's so heavy. It feels almost heavier than half a ton. You gut your teeth, using every ounce of your strength just to push the cart forward. You push this heavy pile of despair, step by step, toward the bottomless cliff at the back of the sect mountain. Along the way, the whispers of the outer disciples pierce your ears like needles. "Look, the dregs collector is here. How unlucky. I heard he was born with ruined remedians. He's stuck doing this for the rest of his life. Stay away from him. He reeks of poverty and rotten pill dregs." But you've already grown used to it. You only bear your head lower, at quicker pace. Finally, you reach the edge of the cliff. You feel a wave of relief, dumping the entire cart of pill dregs over the edge. The black torrent tumbles down, plunging into the bottomless abyss, just like your own destiny. But right then, a sudden change occurs. Ding! Detected host's intense resentment and unwillingness. Binding conditions met. The All Things Return to Alchemy system is officially activated, unlocking Level 1 authority, turning waste into treasure. A series of cold, mechanical voices echoes sharply in your mind, leaving you completely frozen on the spot. A system? A cheat? Is this actually real? You tremble all over with pure excitement, staring at the few scattered pill dregs near your feet. A wild, crazy idea rises in your chest. System. Can these waste materials really be used to refine? You ask tentatively. Ding! Detected abandoned pill dregs residue. Criteria met for turning waste into treasure. Do you wish to begin refining immediately? Refine! Refine it right now. You scream inwardly with excitement. In the very next second, a miracle happens. The foul-smelling dregs mixed with dirt completely defy the laws of physics and begin to float. They gather together, merging into a single black sphere. No cauldron, no alchemy fire. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Wisps of black smoke are forcefully stripped away. Those are the raw, absolute impurities. The black sphere shrinks rapidly, finally transforming into a walnut-sized liquid, glowing with a brilliant golden light. Suddenly, a rich, dense medicinal aroma surges toward the sky. 12 golden, shining pills quietly float right in front of you. A snow-white cloud pattern flows across the surface of every single one. Pill clouds? You cry out in shock, your heart pounding wildly. This is the legendary pill cloud kiss, a phenomenon that only appears when a pill's quality reaches absolute perfection. You carefully hide 11 of the pills close to your chest, leaving only one. A look of sheer determination flashes in your eyes. You think of Wang Bo. You think of that dying child, clinging to his last breath. But when you rush to Wang Bo with the pill, it's already too late. Lin Mo, it's no use. He's already gone. Wang Bo sits by the bed, tears streaming down his weathered face. There's still a chance. Ignoring his despair, you rush over and force the child's mouth open and shove the supreme-grade chi-gathering pill inside. The pill melts the moment it touches his tongue. That exact moment, a miracle happens. His icy-cold body rapidly warms back up. Color returns to his paper-pale face. His weak heartbeat starts thundering again like a war drum. Boom! A massive wave of spiritual energy erupts from the boy. Cheer, Free Fighting Level 1. 学会放0百秋. Not only is he completely healed, but his cultivation actually broke through 2 levels on the spot. It's a miracle. A miracle. A true miracle. Wang Bo drops to his knees, right in front of you. He counters to you frantically, crying out, "Benefactor! You are the savior of our entire Wang family." At that very moment, the massive surge of spiritual energy alerts the entire sect. A figure descends from the sky. It is none other than Supervisor Zhang. He looks at the now energetic boy, then sniffs the rich, exquisite pill fragrance lingering in the air. Instantly, his eyes burn with endless greed. Well, Lin Mo. He grabs you by the collar and sneers. How dare you steal a supreme-grade pill from our sect? Guards, lock him up. Your heart sinks. You ultimately underestimated the sheer depth of human greed. Just then, a cold, icy voice rings out. It carries an unquestionable authority. Stop! Under the moonlight, a woman in a moon-white long dress walks over gracefully. Chief Su! Supervisor Zhang instantly puts on a sycophantic smile, bowing low in greeting. The newcomer is actually Su Qingshu, the chief herb appraiser of the Qingyun sect. Su Qingshu ignores him completely. She walks straight over to the boy and gently places her slender fingers on his pulse. A moment later, a storm of absolute shock surges in her usually tranquil, beautiful eyes. 100% purity, with absolutely zero pill toxin. How is this even possible? She suddenly snaps her head up, her piercing gaze locking onto you. Did you give him this pill? You simply nod your head in calm response. But right at that moment, another, far more authoritative voice boomed out, carrying a wave of sky-splitting rage. A perfect pill? If you ask me, it's nothing but stolen loot. Pai Chiang, the hall master of the law enforcement hall, strode in with powerful commanding steps, his hawk-like eyes locked onto you like a vice. Kid, the sect's inner treasury was robbed. Did you steal the 3 cloud-pattern G-gathering pills that the great elder spent his secluded meditation refining? As soon as those words left his mouth, the entire crowd erupted in an uproar. Everyone assumed you'd be scared out of your wits, falling to your knees to beg for mercy. Who would have thought that instead of showing any fear, you actually let out a mocking sneer? Stealing the great elder's pills? Meeting Min Zheng's murderous gaze head on. You spoke slowly, emphasizing every single word, your clear voice echoing through the entire courtyard. That impurity-loaded piece of garbage the great elder refined is actually worthy of being called a cloud-pattern chi-gathering pill. Even if you gave it to me for free, I think it too filthy to touch. Silence. A deadly, suffocating silence fell over the crowd. A mere low-ranking apprentice dared to call the pills refined by the great elder complete garbage. Have you lost your mind? You are looking for death. Mai Shang was completely pushed over the edge. A terrifying pressure bore down on you like a massive mountain. I will personally search your body right now. The moment I find those pills, you will be severely punished on the spot. Search my body? You let out a cold, mocking laugh. Standing tall with your spine perfectly straight, you barked, "No need. Didn't you want proof, Hallmaster? I'll give it to you right now." Suddenly, you bent down, completely ignoring the shocked and disgusted looks from everyone around you. You reached straight down and grabbed a handful of foul-smelling medicine dregs mixed with filthy mud. What on earth do you think you're doing? Mine froze in confusion. Refining a pill. A sharp golden light flashed in your eyes. In your mind, you issued a direct command to your system. Turn waste into treasure. Activate. Right under everyone's watchful eyes. You squeezed that handful of filthy, stinking mud in your palm. You slammed your palms tightly together. No flames erupted. No spiritual energy surged. Only a blinding, brilliant golden light burst forth from the cracks of your fingers. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. When you opened your hands once more, everyone's minds were completely blown. Their reality shattered into pieces. That foul-smelling mud was completely gone. Sitting in your palm instead was a radiant, golden pill, releasing an incredibly rich, intoxicating herbal aroma. A perfect pill, its surface adorned with mysterious cloud patterns. It lies quietly in the palm of your hand, shattering everyone's understanding of alchemy to pieces.
This is impossible. Na Yaking stumbles back,
His face turning deathly pale. Just then, Su Qingshu's voice breaks the silence. She walks over to your side and announces to the crowd, "From this day forth, Lin Mo is the chief guest alchemist of our alchemy hall. To see him is to see me. Whoever dares to touch him makes an enemy of me." Su Qingshu. The words, chief guest alchemist, strike everyone's hearts like a bolt of lightning. Zhao Kao's face instantly turns purple, red with shame, and he doesn't dare to utter a single word. He can only watch helplessly as you walk away with Su Qingshu in triumph. Inside a quiet courtyard, Su Qingshu gets straight to the point. I hate this sect. Your alchemy skills are a revolutionary weapon, capable of completely upending the market of the entire cultivation world. I will protect you, and we will work together. Your heart stirs. You realize she sees your true value. The two of you hit it off immediately. After sending her off, you immediately consume a top-grade chi gathering pill. Boom! The majestic medicinal energy explodes inside your body, and your cultivation level begins to skyrocket. Second level of chi condensation. Third level of chi condensation. Fourth level to chi condensation. In a single night, you have broken through 3 realms in a row. Excitement aside, you remember something, and immediately have the system reverse analyze the residue of the sect's Qingwen pill. Trace amounts of putrid gill herb and soul-severing flower detected. Mixing these two creates a chronic toxin. Once the medicine is stopped, the illness will relapse and worsen progressively. Staring at the analysis results, your face instantly turns incredibly pale. The common pills that the nebulous sect sells to outer disciples and mortals turn out to be intentionally flawed poisons. Your pupils shrink in shock. A terrifying thought begins to take shape in your mind. They're raising us like livestock. Your voice trembles with rage. Something's happened. When Su Qingshu finds you again, your eyes are filled with exhaustion. Staring intensely at the chemical analysis, your heart sinks. There is something seriously wrong with the Qingwen pill. They lied to us, you whisper, your voice cracking with sheer disbelief. And they call themselves a righteous, noble sect. Qingshu's entire body is shaking with pure rage. They're not trying to cure people. They're trying to kill everyone. I have a plan, you say. You take a deep, heavy breath as a bone-chilling coldness flashes in your eyes. I'm going to make them lose everything. The two of you spend the entire night planning in the shadows. The next morning, a massive plague sweeps through Bacado Valley, exactly as you predicted. Seizing the opportunity, the Qingyun sect immediately orders the price of the Qingwen pill to skyrocket 10 times over. Cries of utter despair echo throughout the entire valley. Countless families bankrupt themselves, desperate to buy a single pill, not knowing it has been maliciously tampered with. Meanwhile, you and Sukinsho have already snuck into the waste yard on the back mountain, with her keeping watch. You sweep the massive mountains of discarded pill dregs accumulated over the years straight into your system space. System, use every ounce of energy to refine the perfect Qingwen pill. Spare no expense. You roar in your mind as the system blares a warning. Danger, energy overload. I don't care. Do it anyway. Refine 100,000 pills. Command confirm. Initiating overload mode. Overnight, 100,000 perfect emerald green Qingwen pills, bursting with pure life energy, are piled up like a mountain. The next morning, just as the townspeople are sinking into complete despair, a humble little stall appears in the middle of Paikou Valley. You sit quietly behind the table, with a large banner erected right next to you. Written in crooked but bold, eye-catching letters are the words, "Perfect Qingwen pills, absolutely free." At first, no one believes you, but then, a desperate, sobbing mother holding her dying baby takes a pill from your hand. In the very next second, a miracle happens. The weeping sores on the baby's skin begin to dry up and vanish right before their eyes. Within seconds, the child is completely healed. He's cured. My baby is cured. The mother weeps tears of joy and drops to her knees right in front of you. This incredible sight instantly ignites the crowd. People rush forward like wild, flooding toward your stall. Soon, tens of thousands of cured victims spontaneously fall to their knees before you. The massive, endless crowd kneels in unison. Our savior! You are a savior sent from the heavens! Their voices rise like a roaring ocean, echoing with deep gratitude as they bow to you. The higher-ups of the Qingyun sect are absolutely furious. This is outrageous! Who is this arrogant fool who dares to cut off our sect's path to wealth? Rage flares in the eyes of Li Tianzhao, the sect leader's top disciple. Prepare my artifact, the Azure Lotus Banner. I will go deal with him personally. I'll show everyone exactly what happens to those who dare oppose the Qingyun sect. In the blink of an eye, the clouds above Herbalist Valley suddenly shift violently.
类秦教的三尖，小鼎发少数。
He holds a banner burning with teal flames, looking like an almighty god. A bunch of ignorant ants dare to stand in the way of my Qiyun sect's dominance? His eyes are ice cold. This, with a violent wave of his Azure Lotus Banner, a raging torrent of second-grade Azure Lotus Beast fire, roaring and carrying a terrifying heat capable of incinerating everything, charges straight at you. He wants to completely crush you. Their supposed savior, right in front of everyone. Tens of thousands of civilians scream in sheer terror. However, facing this lethal beast fire that is hot enough to melt crystal iron, you don't even move a muscle. You slowly raise your hand, casually scooping up a handful of smelly mud from beside your feet, a foul mixture of weeds and muck trampled by thousands of people, and gently pinching it in your fingers. Looking up at the incredibly arrogant Li Tianzhao up in the air, the corners of your mouth slowly curl upward, revealing a cold, mocking smile. Playing with fire, you're worse than absolute trash. You raise your hand, stopping Su Qingsho just as she is about to speak. You don't even look at Lei Hu. Instead, you sweep a cold, indifferent gaze over the unruly mob standing behind him. In this lawless zone of the Wild Grave City, You look toward a corner, where countless things are piled up in the shadows. A shriveled, dead spirit beast lies next to a patch of ash-gray poisonous mushrooms emitting an ominous, decaying aura. Suddenly, the voice of your system quietly echoes in your mind. System scan initiated. Target locked. Lei Hu. Analysis complete. Warning. Chronic meridian tearing detected in target, caused by the long-term erosion of pill toxins from low-grade berserk pills. The pill toxin has already penetrated deep into his vital organs. Complete meridian collapse is expected within 3 months. So, that's how it is. In an instant, everything becomes clear to you. For a ruthless boss who relies entirely on his fists, this is nothing short of a death sentence. And so, you make your move. Under everyone's bewildered gaze, you walk toward that foul-smelling corner beside the withered corpse of the spirit beast. You pluck that bunch of poisonous mushrooms and casually grab a handful of aged firewood mixed with unknown filth. What is this kid doing? Has he gone mad from fear? Snickers erupt from the crowd, impossible to suppress. Even Lei Fu frowns in confusion. He has absolutely no idea what you're doing, but a primal beast-like instinct instantly puts him on high alert. Yet, you merely return to the center, holding that filthy, nauseating pile of dirt in your palms. Press your palms together. There is no flash of light, no sign of life. Only a faint odor, like the ultimate decay of all creation, wafts from your palms for a split second. And when you open your hands again, a tiny, pitch-black, and completely unremarkable pill is resting in your palm. It looks as rough and ugly as a lump of mud. With a flick of your finger, the pill arcs through the air in a perfect curve, landing right on the stone slab in front of Tiger Lei with a sharp clink. Eat it, you say. Your voice isn't loud, but it hits everyone's chest like a heavy sledgehammer. It can take your life, or it can save your life. Tiger Lei's pupils contract instantly. He stares intently at the pill on the ground, then suddenly looks up, meeting your calm, unbothered eyes. As someone who has spent his entire life living on the edge, he trusts his instincts above all else. The old injuries inside him are his biggest nightmare, the demon that keeps him awake every single night, and the sole reason he has been stuck at his bottleneck for 10 long years. Yet, this seemingly weak and fragile young man saw right through him. It's time to gamble. A flash of fierce, ruthless determination crosses Tiger Lei's eyes. He pins down, picks up the pill, and without even looking, throws his head back and swallows it. Boss! His men scream in utter shock. The next second, Tiger Lei's body begins to shake violently. His muscular frame suddenly arches, looking exactly like a boiled shrimp. Beneath his skin, countless black lines twitch frantically, as if thousands of insects are devouring his flesh and blood. At the same time, an agonizing, gut-wrenching pain rips through his chest, like thousands of silver needles twisting inside his organs. But after the brief agony, Tiger Lei doesn't collapse. Instead, an unprecedented wave of comfort surges through his entire body. The sharp, stinging pain that has plagued him for 10 years, the numbness, and the blocked energy melt away instantly, like snow under a blazing sun. Boom! A powerful shockwave explodes outward, with him at the absolute center. He had been stuck at the peak of the 9th stage of chi refining for years, but now he shattered right through that stubborn bottleneck. Spiritual energy violently surged into his body. As Lei Hu looked inward, feeling a relentless, surging new power circulating through him. His once shattered meridians were not only completely healed, but they were now even stronger and wider than before. He snapped his head up to look at you, his eyes instantly shifting from suspicion and greed to absolute, profound shock. That, Lei Hu dropped to one knee, cupped his fists, and bowed deeply. His voice boomed like a bell. Thank you for your immense grace, sir. I, Lei Hu, will never forget this as long as I live. From this day on, I, along with the 300 brothers of the Slayer Alliance, swear to serve you. Our lives are at your disposal. Your word is our absolute command. Behind him, the 300 burly men exchanged glances, then dropped to one knee in perfect unison. Their voices shook the heavens. We swear to serve you, sir. You nodded, calmly accepting their oath of loyalty. Starting today. That's why. You are no longer the Slayer Alliance. You are now the guard detail for the Commoner's Pill House. 3 days later, on the busiest street of Burial City, a brand new shop officially opened its doors. On the plaque were 4 bold characters handwritten by Su Qingshu. Commoner's Pill House.
树清秀是对好大强，压挺的是和天丈。
She had drafted a detailed business plan for you. The quality of every pill was guaranteed to be flawless, yet the prices were set at only 70% of the market rate. The strategy was small profits, but quick turnover, aiming to help all the rogue cultivators who couldn't afford overpriced pills. Meanwhile, Lei Hu and his guard detail kept perfect order in the crowd. On the opening day, the turnout was unimaginably massive. Oh my god, a 100% pure chai gathering pill is only $7. Lower grade spirit stones? Am I seeing things? I just tried one of their healing pills, and half of my years-old injuries are already healed. This is 10 times more effective than those luxury pills from the big pharmacies. The rogue cultivators were ecstatic. For the first time, they realized that even people like them could afford these legendary, perfect-grade pills. Business at the pill house spread like wildfire, and the news reached the Qiying sect at lightning speed. Meanwhile, deep within the grand hall of the Qiyun sect, the stone door of the secluded cultivation chamber slowly ground open. A middle-aged man wearing a cloud-patterned Taoist robe, carrying a majestic aura, stepped out. He was none other than Zhao Wuji, the sect leader of the Qiyun sect. Sect leader, you finally ended your seclusion. An elder rushed forward, reporting everything that had happened recently. But when the sect leader heard that you used waste dregs to refine pills, and it even lured away tens of thousands of disciples and citizens. When Lin Mo opened his apothecary, Luoyang City, completely cutting off the Qiyun sect's cash flow.
教物即是肺，应尽的道丹，生自为譬月水界。
That damn Lin Mo. Fury burned in Zhao Wuji's eyes. His voice was ice cold. A worthless trash picker dares to shake the very foundation of my Qingyo sect. He didn't strike directly. Luoyang City was a lawless, chaotic place, not a place where he could just do whatever he wanted. Pass down my sectmaster's decree.
叫胡记，勾搭。
Unite with the 7 major herb merchants in the city and issue a spiritual herb embargo. From this very second, not a single blade of grass or a single leaf is to be sold to the commoner's apothecary without raw materials. Let's see how that bastard refines his pills. The embargo was enforced instantly and ruthlessly. The very next morning, just as the commoner's apothecary opened its doors, Sukingsho received the devastating news. Every single herb supplier in the market had broken their contracts overnight. They even threw back the deposits we paid. Our warehouse is completely empty. Lin Mo, we're completely out of herbs.
去信秀，让你的一些多。
Looking at you, as you rested with your eyes closed, her voice trembled with panic. We can't make bricks without straw. The line outside is already stretching down the block, and countless rogue cultivators are waiting to buy their pills. You slowly opened your eyes, without a single trace of panic on your face. Instead, a mysterious smirk played on your lips. Don't worry. You stood up and walked to the entrance. Facing the anxious, waiting crowd, you announced loudly, "Our pills are sold out today, but the commoner's apothecary is launching a brand new service." Wood pointed at the shop's sign and said to Lei Hu, "Brother Lei, do me a favor and flip that sign over." You got it. Lei Hu leaped into the air, grabbed the sign, and flipped it with a powerful twist. With a sharp plaque, the back of the sign was revealed to the crowd. Written in bold, eye-catching ink was a line of massive characters that plunged the entire street into dead silence. High prices, unlimited buybacks. Those bold, freshly painted words seemed to hold a strange magic, instantly freezing the bustling noise of the entire street. Buybacks of what? Someone muttered, subconsciously reading the smaller text underneath. The voice was filled with sheer, utter disbelief. Ruined pills, useless herb dregs, broken cauldrons, and burnt spirit lingji roots, every kind of alchemy waste imaginable. And then, a dead, breathless silence fell. Everyone thought their eyes were playing tricks on them. This worthless garbage, stuff people would pay to get rid of, could actually be sold for money? Hey, young man, are you for real? A bold rogue cultivator pointed at the sign, looking toward the door as if staring at a total sucker. You're not lying to us, are you? You simply gave Lei Hu, standing right next to you, a brief nod. Lei Hu instantly got the message and brought out a heavy chest from behind his back. With a loud thud, he slammed it onto the ground. He flung the lid open. In an instant, the glittering golden glow of spirit stones nearly blinded everyone. The rules are simple. Your voice cut through the silence, calm and crystal clear. 1 pound of ordinary herb dregs gets you 1 low-grade spirit stone. 1 pound of ruined pill residue gets you 3 spirit stones. And if you have aged spirit lingji waste, we can negotiate the price. We'll weigh it right here and pay you cash on the spot. Gulp. The heavy sound of people swallowing hard rippled through the crowd. A single low-grade spirit stone was enough for an ordinary rogue cultivator to stay at the cheapest inn for 3 whole days. Wait. I have a whole batch of failed pills buried in my backyard from last month. One rogue cultivator snapped out of his shock. His eyes lit up with wild excitement. He spun around and started pushing his way out of the crowd. Don't any of you try to steal my spot. The moment he moved, it was like a switch had been flipped. I've got some at home too. The crowd went absolutely wild. Everyone was completely losing their minds. The waste dump in the west of the city is packed with herb dregs. Move it, move it. If we're too late, we won't get a single scrap. In that single instant, the entire chaotic graveyard fell into a state of sheer, bizarre madness. Countless rogue cultivators, commoners, and even disciples from minor clans charged like maniacs toward the very trash they used to avoid like the plague. An unprecedented trash-collecting frenzy erupted right then and there. Meanwhile, on the balcony of the tallest tavern in the city, the owners of the 7 major of merchants, along with Deacon Zhao from the Qingyu sect, were leaning against the railing, looking out over the city. You watched the chaotic, frantic scene unfold below. Deacon Zhao, look at him. That Lin Mo is completely out of tricks. A manager with a goatee raised his wine glass, his face twisted in mockery. Buying a pile of completely useless trash. I don't think he wants to refine pills at all. He just wants to bury himself alive. Zhao just sneered, taking a cold sip of his tea. With an arrogant smirk, he scoffed. He's nothing but a clown. Once he squanders his entire fortune, we won't even have to lift a finger. The rogue cultivators in this market will finish him off for good. Just watch! This civilian pill shop won't last 3 days. The crowd clapped and burst into uproarious laughter, their words dripping with utter contempt for an amateur like you. But little did they know, what they saw as a pile of worthless trash was a literal gold mine in your eyes. In just half a day, a towering 100-meter-tall mountain of accumulated waste had risen in the backyard of the civilian pill shop.
As night fell,
Jingshu set up a barrier, completely blocking out all prying eyes. Standing before that massive mountain of waste, you took a deep breath, your eyes flashing with an unprecedented light. System. Activate the myriad furnace extraction mode. Purify all waste by category and convert them into perfect grade pills of their respective kinds. Command confirmed. Extraction mode activated. Energy reserves. Initiating depletion. In an instant, your consciousness was pulled into a boundless, infinite furnace space. Under the system's incredible power, the entire 100-meter-high mountain of waste was fully simulated and beginning to decompose as if thrown into a colossal, roaring furnace. Crushed and purified. All night long, it felt as if billions of suns were burning and exploding inside your system space at the exact same time. The next morning, the moment the first ray of sunlight struck the sign of the pill shop, the rogue cultivators who had waited all night had already formed a massive queue. As the shop's doors swung wide open, the moment everyone saw what was on the shelves, their breath caught in their throats. Everything was packed to the brim. Row after row, column after column, perfect grade pills were stacked neatly, filling every single shelf. Qi gathering pills, healing pills, fast breaker pills, antidote pills. Every common pill on the market was right there. But the most shocking part was the price. Perfect grade Qi gathering pills, 5 low-grade spirit stones. That's more than 50% off the market price. And this healing pill? Its efficacy is practically divine. Yet, it only costs 10 spirit stones. The crowd of buyers went absolutely wild. This buying frenzy was 10 times more intense than yesterday's scrap metal rush. Just a single morning's revenue almost surpassed the entire half-month profits of the Qingyan ASX Alchemy Hall. Using what everyone saw as useless scrap, you and Su Qingxiu put off the most unbelievable accumulation of raw capital. Right when the pill business was booming, a man wearing a cloak, with a bloated figure, squeezed his way through the crowd, keeping his head low and acting extremely cautious. He was trying to buy a bottle of healing pills from a counter in the corner. On his arm was a shocking sword wound that standard sect pills couldn't cure at all, only making it grow worse by the day. Just as he handed over the money, a hand covered in thick calluses pressed down on the back of his. Manager Strong. A raspy, aging voice whispered in his ear. The cloaked man's body stiffened, and he jerked his head up. He saw a familiar, wrinkled face. It was none other than Wang Bo, the old servant whom he had once kicked aside and left begging on his knees. But now Wang Bo stood tall and straight, wearing the brand new uniform of the commoner's pill shop. His eyes no longer held any of his former submission or weakness. It's you. Manager Zhang's face went completely pale. He took a step back instinctively. But he didn't just see Wang Bo. You slowly walked out from the backyard. As your eyes met, Manager Zhang's heart instantly sank to the bottom of his chest. He turned around to run, only to find his path blocked by Lei Hu's mountain-like body. Please, don't hit me. Staring at your approaching figure, Manager Zhang's voice shook with terror. He didn't want to end up like Liu Chenzhou. Desperate, he quickly pulled something from his robes. I'll trade you a secret. A shocking secret about the elders of the Qingyun sect. Seeing that you still weren't reacting, he finally broke down completely. He shrieked out the words that were enough to shake the entire city. The elders have already obtained the Heavenly Thunder Array-breaking talisman. Tonight, they are going to level this entire place to the ground. The Heavenly Thunder Array-breaking talisman, huh? You casually picked at your ear. Your tone is calm and indifferent, as if you were asking what was for dinner tonight. Standing right in front of you, Manager Zhang was instantly doused in cold sweat. He had originally come to threaten you with this leverage, but seeing your completely fearless attitude, he was the one who panicked. The unknown really is the most terrifying thing of all. Beside you, Su Qingxiu stabbed her foot in anxiety. She grabbed your sleeve tightly. Lin Mo, are you even listening? Once that Heavenly Thunder talisman goes off, our shop's barrier won't even hold for 1 second. So what's there to panic about? You reach back, pat the guard's shoulder, and give him an incredibly reassuring look. Then, you turn and walk toward the backyard, where a mountain of ruined array plates is piled up, under everyone's bewildered stares, as if they are looking at a complete madman. You don't reach for any magical weapons or spirit stones. Instead, you use your bare hands to pull out a few rusted pieces of scrap metal from the junk pile. Their spiritual energy fluctuations are so weak, they wouldn't even zap a mosquito. Clenching the scrap metal in your hand, you issue a command in your mind. System, use this junk as a base, and forge a one-time use killing array. For me, command confirmed. Reverse reconstruction in progress. A sudden warmth surges in your palm. When you open your hand again, there's a silver mud pill, covered in faint, damaged runes, sitting in your palm. What on earth is this piece of junk? Xingqiu freezes in disbelief. You simply smile and slip the silver pill into your pocket. Since the Qingyun sect has sent us such a massive gift, it would be rude of me not to return the favor. You wave your hand dismissively.
Order to Lei Hu to throw Manager Jack out like a piece of worthless trash.
The pill shop will remain open for business as usual. Under the dark, windy night, the back street near the mass graves is dead silent. Suddenly, 3 dark figures land on your pill shop's roof like ghosts. 3 Foundation Establishment elders from the Qingyun sect have arrived, unleashing a crushing pressure to clear the area. A bunch of low-life weaklings think they're worthy of stealing business from the Qingyun sect? The leading elder Liu sneers coldly. Cut the crap. He throws it out. A purple light flashes violently as the destructive aura of the Heavenly Thunder Array Breaking Talisman surges wildly. It's about to reduce all your hard work to rubble. At this critical, hair-raising moment, standing in the backyard, you slowly raise your head. You look up at those 3 self-righteous fools on the roof, looking at them as if they are already dead men. Without making any flashy moves, you simply reach into your pocket and gently crush that silver pill. There is no earth-shattering explosion. Only a gentle breeze blows, and silver dust scatters into the air. Immediately after, on the roof, countless glowing silver array patterns instantly erupt in the air. And even right beneath the feet of those 3 old thieves, an inescapable net forms, trapping them tightly in the center. Shoot, it's a trap. The arrogance on Elder Liu's face, instantly. Their muscles and bones seized up, turning completely rigid. The moment their spiritual light flickered to life, an invisible shockwave popped it like a balloon. With a sharp whoosh, it all collapsed. This brutal force crashed into them, but surprisingly, it didn't damage their bodies. Instead, it washed through their meridians with a gentle yet utterly overbearing force. In an instant, over 100 years of cultivation was like snow doused in battery acid, melting away into absolutely nothing. In less than 3 seconds, thud, thud, thud. The 3 once high and mighty Foundation Establishment elders crashed down from the roof into your courtyard, landing like 3 limp, helpless beasts. Their cultivation was completely destroyed. They were turned into ordinary, useless mortals who would struggle to even carry a bucket of water. The very next morning, the entire mass grave area absolutely erupted. You had hung those 3 old thieves right on the pillars of shame outside your alchemy shop. Right next to them, you hung their flying swords, now completely drained of any spiritual energy. This wasn't just doing business. This was straight up taking a dump on the Qingyun sect's pride. Crowds of rogue cultivators packed the street, blocking it completely. Everyone looked at you as if they were staring at a total monster. Resting your foot on the threshold, you completely ignored their shock and announced on the spot, starting today, the Commoner's Alchemy Shop is launching a membership system. Bring in just 1 pound of alchemy waste, and you're registered. Not only will you get discounts on pills, you can even trade them for realm-breaking pills. The moment the word realm-breaking left your mouth, the crowd absolutely lost its mind to fan the flames even further. You pulled out a jade box, right in front of everyone, and snapped it open. I couldn't want. Instantly, a heavenly pill fragrance filled the air, with glowing Tao patterns swirling around it. A perfect grade Foundation Establishment kill. A perfect grade pill! Someone screamed at the top of their lungs. Everyone's eyes lit up with wild excitement. Necks croned as they all greedily swallowed their spit. But your gaze bypassed those greedy rogue cultivators and landed directly on a cowering old janitor sweeping in the corner.
Alkball, come here.
Guangbang trembled, his entire body shaking. His eyes were filled with pure shock and disbelief, like a child who had done something wrong. He slowly shuffled over to you. He had been a low-level servant for the Qingyun sect for 30 years, enduring 30 long years of brutal beatings. Without a moment's hesitation, you took this priceless pill, something others would literally kill for, and stuffed it right into his heavily calloused hand. Eat it. To me, loyalty is the greatest talent of all. Tears streamed down Wan Bo's weathered face. He didn't waste a single breath. He threw his head back and swallowed the elixir. A surge of explosive vitality instantly flooded his body. His hunched, creaking spine was forced straight by sheer power. His graying hair turned pitch black in the blink of an eye. 30 years of hidden injuries were completely wiped out by the sudden wave of energy. His withered meridians were violently forced open. Ninth layer of Qi refining. Foundation Establishment achieved. A wild vortex of spiritual energy violently gathered in the sky. That was the celestial phenomenon unique to Foundation Establishment. A man with 0 talent, an old geezer with 1 foot in the grave, had just achieved Foundation Establishment right before your eyes. This was the loudest, most devastating slap in the face to the cultivation world's theory of natural talent. Oh my god, even a low-life handyman can achieve Foundation Establishment? Boss Lin is incredible. From now on, I'm a loyal fan of these commoner elixirs for life. Fanatical excitement instantly set the entire crowd on fire. But just when everyone was bowing in worship, you rode the wave of this spiritual energy vortex and silently broke through the barrier, stepping into Foundation Establishment. Ding! System warning. Rapid depletion of the world's source detected. Ultimate main quest. Investigate the mystery of spiritual energy depletion.
The system's cold notification rang in your head. You frowned.
The world is running dry? No wonder the spiritual herbs we've been buying lately have such terrible potency.
But the nebulous sect's revenge came even faster than you expected. Yuksho rushed into the backyard in a panic and slammed down a ban order bearing the seals of the 4 major sects.
We're finished, Lin Mo. The nebulous sect has joined forces with the 3 major sects to completely ban us. First thing this morning, all the alchemists we hired ran away. They didn't even leave a single apprentice to stoke the fires.
Without alchemists,
Our recipe is just a useless piece of paper.
Su Qingshuo's eyes welled with tears. But you didn't even shift your posture.
you only let out a contemptuous chuckle.
Who says we need alchemists to refine elixirs? You strode over to the pile of abandoned cauldrons in the backyard. The system had just leveled up to level 2. System, analyze these broken cauldrons. Strip away all requirements for natural talent, soul force, and heat control limits. I want a blueprint for a foolproof push-button elixir machine that even a 3-year-old can operate.
Blueprint analysis complete.
Blueprint generated.
You immediately threw triple the money to hire every blacksmith in the city. One day later, the Cultivation world's very first automated quieting pill machine was born.
Su Qingshuo held the palm-sized, square metal box in her hands.
Completely bewildered. There isn't even an opening on this thing. How am I supposed to refine anything? You tossed her a bag of pre-mixed herb dregs. Pour it in.
Spectacle. She did as she was told.
With a software thing, 3 seconds later, a round, plump, and flawless low-grade healing pill rolled out of the dispenser.
Qingshuo gasped sharply.
Looking at you, as if she were looking at a god. No talent required.
No apprentices needed.
No sect required.
The next day, you put up a notice. Refining boxes for dummies. 111 units only. Installment plans available. Take it home today with a down payment of just 10 spirit stones. Boom! The entire Luanzong city was completely turned upside down by your move.
Sweeping grandmas,
Pig slaughtering butchers.
Carriage pulling laborers.
The lowest class grassroots citizens of the entire city. As long as they could scrape together 10 spirit stones, he could go home, press a button, and instantly become an alchemist.
in just 3 days.
The low-end pill market of the 4 major sects was completely wiped out by the vast ocean of your people's war.
The once haughty sect alchemists were suddenly unemployed.
They lined up outside your shop, weeping and begging for a job just to sort out herb dregs.
In the main hall of the Qingyun sect leader Zhao Wuji completely lost his mind.
He was like a bankrupt gambler who had lost everything. He flipped the table with a violent crash and roared with a distorted, contorted face,
Spit flying everywhere.
nearly putting out the ever-burning lamps in the hall. Lin Mo, you want to flip the table, don't you? Fine. I'll smash your entire damn table to pieces. Empty out all the spirit stones in the sect's treasury. Bite up every single piece of herb dregs in the entire world at 100 times the price.
Let's see how he presses the buttons on his useless boxes without any raw materials. Spirit stones flooded Luanzong City like a tidal wave. Overnight, the price of worthless dregs became more expensive than rare spirit herbs.
Suddenly, your shop couldn't buy a single scrap of dregs anymore.
Su Qingshuo paced around in a panic. Lin Mo,
We're completely cut off.
Zhao Wuji is trying to crush us completely with sheer wealth.
You lean back in your chair.
Spinning the teacup in your hand,
The smirk on your face grew wider and wider.
He wants to buy them?
You shut up. We'll sell him as much as he wants. Where on earth are we supposed to get that much waste?
you let out a cold laugh.
And connect your mind directly to the system. System activated. Structural downgrade initiated. Transform all the yellow mud outside the city to look and feel exactly like the Qingyun Sect's premium medicine dregs. Command confirmed. Batch conversion in progress. For the next 2 weeks,
Wenzhou City played host to the most absurd spectacle.
you hired a bunch of mortals
To wheel cart after cart of premium waste, which was actually just yellow mud.
and sell them at exorbitant prices to the Qingwen Sect's buyers.
It was a classic shell game.
the Qingyun Sect's spirit stones flooded into your pockets like a raging torrent.
2 weeks later,
In the back hills of the Qingyun sect,
Zhao Wuji stared at the mountain of spoils.
and laughed like a maniac.
He thought he had won. He thought he had backed you into a corner. Smugly, he picked up a piece of premium waste from the pile, preparing to light it up and test it himself. But the moment he squeezed his fingers, crack, the waste crumbled, turning into a handful of fine yellow dirt that blew right back into his face. Zhao Wuji's laughter died in his throat. Completely losing his mind, he frantically clawed at the piles of dirt. 10 pieces.
100 pieces, 10,000 pieces. All of it was just yellow mud.
Overwhelmed by sheer rage and shock, his energy clashed violently within him, and he coughed up a mouthful of blood. He collapsed weakly into the mud, his face pale as death.
Cultivation sect was bankrupt.
Their capital chain had snapped completely. Disciples mutinied, and elders fled with the treasury. Without deploying a single soldier, you had completely crushed a 1,000-year-old sect with nothing but a few cartloads of yellow mud. As the great sect collapsed, Zhao Wuji found himself utterly abandoned. He stole the last flying ship and fled to the central province like a beaten dog. 1 week later, you stood upon the ruins of the Qingyun sect's main peak, personally planting the banner of the commoner alchemical chamber into the throne that once symbolized supreme power. We won,
Su Qingshuo murmured.
staring at the sea of clouds beneath her feet.
But you didn't answer. Instead, you clutched an urgent jade slip you had just recovered from Jia Wuji's secret chamber.
There was only one line written inside. Sectmaster Zhao, come to the central province immediately. The extraction of the Eastern Territory's ley line is—
The source energy of the Danding continent is about to be drained dry. Come join us to discuss the grand plan of ascension.
You gripped the jade slip tightly, your gaze piercing toward the central province.
So, the world wasn't just sick. It was completely drained dry by this pack of ruthless bastards.
You let out a cold sneer. Fine. You want to ascend? I'll head to Zhongzhou right now and shatter your precious ascension plaques to pieces. From this moment on, you are Lin Mo. The words written on the jade slip pierce your mind like a dagger,
cutting through all the confusion in your head. The words veins drained, grand ascension, explode in your brain like a bomb. Su Qingxue is standing right next to you. Noticing your grim expression, she leans in to take a look. With just one glance, she understands everything.
They're sacrificing the entire continent just to elevate one single person.
Her voice is freezing cold, trembling with sheer disbelief. You slowly close your eyes. Anger is useless right now, and panic is just a waste of time.
When you open your eyes again, you are terrifyingly calm.
It looks like this storm is much bigger than we expected.
You turn around, your eyes locking onto the deepest depths of the Qinyu sect.
Below lies a 1,000-year-old pool of discarded spirit medicine waste.
It's toxic filth, but it's also raw power. If you want to flip the table, you need the strength to sit at it first.
You leave Su Qingxue with those words
and flash right above the pool of toxic waste.
without a single moment of hesitation.
You sit, cross-legged. All creation returns to the core. The system's devouring force instantly ramps up to its absolute maximum. The 10,000-year-old toxic waste, thick as asphalt, turns into streams of black liquid,
Surging into your body like crazy, your body becomes the ultimate refining furnace.
As the energy converts, your cultivation level skyrockets.
Early, golden core, middle, late, then golden core grand perfection. All in less than the time it takes a single stick of incense to burn. The toxic pool, which could have contaminated 100 miles of land, is drained completely dry.
You stand up, feeling your true essence surging through your veins like a roaring river. Halting steadily, right before the final gateway to the nascent soul realm.
Let's go, Qingxiu. You return to her side.
Your entire aura completely transformed.
We're heading to Zhongzhou to teach those bastards a lesson.
3 days later, in Danding City,
Zhongzhou. Here, the very air smells of money and refined elixirs.
flying ships shuttle across the sky, and the cultivators here are dressed in lavish, glamorous robes.
Even the dogs on the street look more prestigious than the elders of the outer sects. But you see right through this glamorous facade.
The system analyzes the area. Spiritual energy concentration here is 30 times higher than the outside world. The root cause is the draining and boosting of the ley lines.
The massive quakes are rapidly draining the very life force of the continent.
Every single breath taken here is sucking the energy straight out of the entire world.
At the entrance of the alchemy convention, it is packed with people. No entry is allowed unless you are from a prestigious family or a 7th grade alchemist.
The guard's voice is cold and arrogant as he is shooing away pesky flies.
Right at that moment,
You slowly push a creaking cart over, piled high with pitch-black junk,
rusty iron scraps, dried up tree bark, and a few pieces of charred wood.
You and Su Qingxue are dressed in plain, simple clothes.
Looking like two hillbillies who walked onto the wrong stage.
Where did these beggars come from? Pushing a cart of trash to join the alchemy convention.
A rich young master holding a jade fan laughs mockingly. Look at that pile of junk. Did they dig it out of some garbage dump? Are we getting a sideshow this year too? The young lady Zhao beside him giggles right along with him, her eyes filled with utter contempt.
The guard has already had enough of you.
He thrusts his halberd forward, blocking you. Beat it! Don't let your pile of garbage you in the prestigious entrance of this convention.
Su Qingxue's eyebrows instantly furrow in anger.
Just as she is about to lash out, you gently hold her back. You aren't angry at all.
You simply look at the guard calmly.
As long as I can prove I have the ability to refine elixirs, I can enter, right?
The guard looks at you as if he has just heard the funniest joke in the world. Of course. If you can refine a 5th grade pill right here, on the spot, I will personally clear the path for you.
But what are you going to refine it with?
With that cart of rotten wood of yours?
The crowd's laughter erupts even louder.
Fine, you say, nodding.
Right in front of everyone. You bend down toward that pile of junk, casually picking up a pinch of rust, and snapping off a piece of bark. You place both items in the palm of your hand. No cauldron, no fire. You simply close your palms together.
With a soft hum, an invisible wave of energy flashes.
Before anyone can even react,
You open your hands.
no flashing lights, no smoke.
There is only a perfectly round pill, quietly resting in your palm, radiating a 5-colored glow and a refreshing fragrance.
That medicinal fragrance is like an invisible, massive serpent, instantly wrapping itself around and squeezing the throats of everyone there. A 1st grade marrow cleansing pill of perfect quality.
In the crowd, an old man shrieked like a dying pig.
All the jeers and laughter instantly froze.
Young Master Yushin's fan slipped from his hand and clattered to the floor.
Miss Zhao's mouth hung open so wide you could have stuffed an egg inside. The guard stood frozen in place, looking as if he'd just been struck by lightning.
The massive evaluation crystal at the entrance began to vibrate violently,
bursting with a blinding, chaotic light.
Before suddenly, bang! It shattered right then and there. It completely exceeded the limit.
The entire hall fell into a dead silence.
Right then, an old frantic voice echoed as someone rushed out from the venue. The pill aroma! It's the pill aroma of the ancient Orthodox method.
A white-robed old man rushed out of the door like a whirlwind. Without even glancing at the pill in your hand, his eyes locked onto your battered little cart like a starving wolf, and he dashed right up to you.
He was so excited he nearly tripped and fell.
He grabbed the cart to steady himself, his hand trembling violently as he pointed at a dusty, pitch-black stone wedged under the wheel.
His voice cracked with emotion. Is this wedge stone? Could it be the waste material of the 9 heavens' divine soil? Lost for 100,000 years?
And as those words left his mouth, the air in the entire square seemed to be sucked dry.
The young masters and ladies, who had been laughing hysterically just moments ago, froze instantly.
The 9 heavens' divine soil?
The legendary soil of the gods.
And he's using its scraps as a wheel wedge? What kind of insane flex is this? This is a total dimensional strike to the entire cultivation world's reality.
But the white-robed elder of the alchemy pavilion, Sun Sima, couldn't care less
about anyone else's reaction.
He carefully, reverently scooped up the stone
and bowed deeply to you. Forgive this old man. I was blind to your greatness.
May I ask your esteemed name, young friend? And could such a sacred object have been found by the roadside? Your brief response was more devastating than a 10,000-word explanation.
Yeah, picked it up by the road.
In an instant, everyone's gaze snapped from the stone to your cart, which was piled high with junk.
At this very moment, in their eyes, that rusty scrap metal was a fragment of a divine weapon.
That dry, withered bark was a branch of the legendary world tree.
And your battered little cart was a rolling primordial treasure trove.
In the crowd, Zhao Wuji's face turned completely pale the moment he saw this. Never in his wildest dreams did he expect you to make an entrance like this.
Scared out of his wits,
He quietly shrank into the crowd, trying to slip away backstage.
Sun Sima personally escorted you and Su Qinshu to the VIP seats in the very front row.
The looks from the powerful figures of Zhongzhou had shifted from polite curiosity to sheer awe, mingled with intense curiosity and naked, unadulterated greed. Dawn. The grand bell echoes through the arena.
The first round of the Alchemy Grand Assembly begins. High up on the platform, the proctor announces loudly. In this first round of the Clash of 100 Schools, everyone is provided the exact same herbs. You have a time limit of 2 hours.
The one who refines the highest grade pill wins.
Soon, an apprentice brings the ingredients to you.
He sets the box down, avoids eye contact, and scurries off.
Su Qinshu opens it to take a look.
And her face instantly turns ice cold. There are no spiritual herbs in the box at all.
The entire thing is stuffed with nothing but charred, burnt lumps and moldy, stinking trash.
This is completely useless waste.
They rigged it.
Qinshu whispers, barely suppressing her rage.
Up on the platform, the proctor wears a smug, mocking sneer.
He clearly knows. Even the surrounding contestants are throwing gloating looks your way.
But you only cast a brief glance at that box of trash.
Not only are you not angry,
You actually nod in satisfaction. You don't even bother going to the refining station. Instead, you sit right there in the VIP section, and in front of everyone, you dump that pile of charred lumps and mold onto the table.
You close your eyes,
Activating reverse analysis and structural reconstruction. Extracting the purest life energy from the carbonized structures. Simulating the flame of creation with mold spores as a catalyst. To the onlookers, you are simply sitting there dazed.
in the center of the arena, the geniuses have already fired up their cauldrons. Dazzling alchemical flames dance wildly. An hour passes by. The sweet aroma of pills fills the entire arena.
Fifth and fixed-rate pills are refined, one after another,
Sending the crowd into a frenzy of gasps.
just as everyone's eyes are glued to the 2 6th-grade alchemists.
You finally make your move. But you don't use a cauldron.
No cauldron,
No alchemical flame.
You simply stretch out your hands and calmly begin kneading the pile of charred ash and mold.
The motion looks exactly like a child playing with mud.
what on earth is he doing?
Yes.
Is he insane? Kneading it with his bare hands? But the very next second, a sudden mutation erupts. A roaring dragon's cry from the primordial ages thunders from your bare hands. A brilliant pillar of rainbow light violently shoots straight up into the sky, piercing right through the arena's roof.
A boundless, overwhelming wave of life force sweeps across the entire venue.
Anyone who catches even a whiff feels their cultivation bottlenecks instantly loosen.
As the light fades,
You open your palms. There, resting quietly, is a pill with the illusions of 7 divine dragons swirling inside it.
A 7th grade pill of creation.
Sun Simano looks as if he's been struck by lightning. 44.
He is completely frozen in utter disbelief.
Their voices are literally trembling. Using mere scrap materials, he refined a grade 7 pill of creation, a recipe lost for 10,000 years.
Dead silence fills the room.
Every so-called genius alchemist stares blankly at the pills in their own hands, and then at the divine pill in your palm. Their faces have gone completely pale. This isn't just contempt. This is
A god watching mere mortals
play with mud. After a brief, breathless silence, the room erupts into absolute madness, like a volcano blowing its top.
Master Lin! My Wong family is willing to trade half of our entire assets for just one of your pills. Grandmaster Lin, our Li family wishes to honor you as our supreme guest elder.
Countless representatives from powerful families surge toward you like crazy.
Su Qingshou elegantly stands up,
Stepping in front of you to block the crowd,
she accepts one business card after another,
smiling as she says, "Thank you all for your generosity. Lin Mo is fully focused on his alchemy right now.
So, I will be handling all of his business matters." She handles them flawlessly, already radiating the powerful aura of a business queen. But you? Your brows are knit tight.
This pill is incredibly, impossibly perfect.
But deep within its overwhelming vitality, there's a faint, hidden cry of agony. One that doesn't belong to any plant.
You quickly send a telepathic message to her.
Qingshi, don't take any orders.
There is something seriously wrong with the ingredients in this pill. I can feel an unnatural trace of living life force in it.
Qingshou's hand pauses for a split second as she reaches for another card.
Without showing a hint of emotion, she quietly tucks the cards away,
Makes a quick excuse, and hurries you out of the venue.
As soon as you step into a private lounge, she asks urgently, "What's going on?"
The moment you enter, Su Qingshou sets up a protective barrier. You reply, "Something is mixed into the pill that shouldn't be there."
You open your palm.
The divine pill still glows with a beautiful, swirling light, but your eyes are dead cold.
I refined this using nothing but charcoal and mold.
It should only contain the simple life force of plants. But inside this pill, there's something else. You close your eyes,
Activating your system's deep analysis. You detect trace amounts of non-plant life source and start tracing the contamination.
Trace complete.
The source points directly to Warehouse 7, Section A, the main ingredients warehouse of the Alchemy Conference.
Your eyes snap open.
The Alchemist Hall has tampered with all the ingredients.
Su Qingshou understands instantly. Like two wisps of smoke, they slip past the guards
And sneak into Section A, Warehouse number 7. Using your system, you easily bypass the seal and slip inside.
slipping inside.
The scene before her eyes made Su Qingshou instantly cover her mouth. Her eyes were filled with absolute horror. There were no spiritual herbs here, only rows of massive crystal pillars. Inside, thick, green clumps of life essence were sealed away. Beneath the crystal pillars,
Its formation arrays led straight into the ground.
faintly, you could hear the agonizing wails of countless living souls. These wails sounded exactly like the dark energy inside the pill of creation. They're extracting the very life force of living beings. Su Qingshou's voice was trembling violently. Your face darkened completely.
So this is how it is.
This fake prosperity was built upon the lives of billions of souls. This isn't the Tao of alchemy.
It's the demonic way. Lin Mo, now that you know this secret, you won't escape today even if you grew wing.
A venomous voice rang out from the entrance. Yao Wuji stood there with a squad of Alchemist Temple law enforcers,
Completely blocking the exit.
his face was twisted with the thrill of revenge. Right after, the phantom projection of the Alchemist Temple's master slowly materialized inside the room. The crushing pressure of the soul transformation stage made the very air freeze. He looked down at you, as if staring at an amusing little toy.
What an interesting young man. Too bad. You know far too much.
He slowly raised his hand, pointing upward. His voice was utterly devoid of emotion.
To refine that 9th grade ascension pill.
The source essence of this continent is the primary ingredient.
And for tomorrow's final match.
The life force of those 100,000 alchemists will be the perfect catalyst.
You're utterly insane.
Jawuj waved his hand triumphantly. Take them down. It's just you lot. Faced with this dead end, you actually laughed. You simply snapped your fingers, tentating that tiny clump of toxic mold spores you had specially collected during the day. In an instant, the law enforcer's supposedly indestructible spiritual barrier
Melted away silently, as if it were made of paper.
Instantly, everyone's throats began to itch. Violently, one after another, they coughed uncontrollably and collapsed weakly to the ground. Choking on the fumes, Zhao Wuji's face turned black, and he fled in utter panic, scurrying away like a rat. You grabbed Su Qing, instantly fighting your way out of the heavy encirclement. But the moment you rush out of the Alchemist Palace, you slam right into an invisible wall. At some point, the entire central state city was shrouded in an eerie barrier of light.
It is a massive cage. A source grand array.
Qingshou's voice carries a hint of helplessness.
This is a soul formation stage grand array. We can't break it. But why are you staring up at those eerie clouds?
You slowly lift your head, gazing past the clouds to the sky above.
Up there lies a toxic cloud tens of thousands of feet thick, accumulated over tens of thousands of years of excessive alchemy in Danding City.
A dense layer of storm clouds and toxic smog.
To everyone else, that is a deadly poison, a direct path to death. But in your eyes, a mad spark ignites. Who says we don't have materials? Your voice isn't loud, but it carries a world-shattering resolve. All the discarded waste and dregs dumped by the entire cultivation world over the last tens of thousands of years are the best raw materials I could ever ask for. As the blinding rooms of the array light up, you watch from the sky as 100,000 lives dissolve into a golden mist right before your eyes.
Their energy currents are wrenched away, as if an invisible massive hand is squeezing their hearts.
Ruthlessly ripping out the very roots of their lives.
My power! Help me!
My life. My life is draining away. Listening to their blood-curdling screams and watching them weaken and age at a visible rate,
Your face remains entirely blank. And then, you hear the Alchemist Palace Master's unhinged declaration. Haha,
Help me break through to the ultimate realm.
becoming the energy sacrifices for my ascension is your supreme, absolute honor.
He bathes in the stolen life energy of 100,000 people.
his face twisted with a sick, manic greed.
Right at that moment, you decide the timing is just about right.
Rumble, steering a hideously massive iron contraption pieced together from countless discarded energy clouds. You crash directly into everyone's field of vision, with a momentum powerful enough to crush the heavens. The entire crowd, including the Alchemist Palace Master, is utterly dumbfounded.
And standing right on top of that colossal iron monstrosity is none other than Lin Mo, Alchemist Palace Master.
Their voice isn't loud,
But like a needle, it pierces right through his delusion.
your little trap, fueled by the lies of the innocent, ends now.
He gets a clear look at you and freezes in shock for a second. Then, a sneer spreads across his face. An ant who barely managed to escape dares to bark in my presence. Look at this great furnace of heaven and earth. Look at these 100,000 energy sacrifices.
What exactly do you think you have to stop me?
You just smile and shake your head.
You look down at the 100,000 people below, all writhing in agony.
Then you just up. Then you look up at the sky, choked with toxic smog and filthy, chaotic energy. With a calm, patronizing tone, you slowly speak. No, I'm not here to stop you. I'm just here to teach you what the true path of energy actually is. Harvesting energy from human lives? Your vision is far too small.
Way too small.
Today, I'm going to show you what green, eco-friendly energy really means.
And what a circular economy actually looks like.
The very moment those words leave your mouth,
You suddenly fling your arms wide open. System. Upgrade the all things to pill system to the absolute max level.
System notification. All limiters unlocked. Upgrading to the highest level. Level 3. Upgrade successful. Current mode. Crucible of all things. Heaven and earth cauldron. Suddenly, a terrifying suction force, 1,000 times more dominant than that origin array, explodes from both you and the giant metallic contraption beneath your feet.
This force does not suck away life. It doesn't absorb spiritual energy either. No, it is sucking in waste and garbage. In an instant, the entire sky plunges into pure darkness.
The toxic smog, spanning tens of thousands of miles and stretching 10,000 feet thick across the sky, has finally found an outlet to escape. A colossal black tornado, connecting heaven and earth, roars like a dragon, surging with pinpoint accuracy right into the crucible beneath your feet. At the exact same time, earth begins to violently tremble. The abandoned ley line residues deep beneath the central plain city.
tons of black metal and junk piled up in the dark corners of the city. Burnt out, broken magical artifacts. Absolutely everything defined as garbage.
Burst through the ground at this very moment. Instantly, a massive black tornado rages in the sky, while billions of black torrents surge across the earth, flooding toward you like the end of the world.
He's going to blow himself up. On the high platform, the smug smile on the Pill God Hall Master's face vanishes instantly, replaced by absolute horror, because he realizes his precious Origin array is turning unstable. The life force he was violently draining
Is being hijacked halfway by a vastly superior, higher power.
in an instant. The 100,000 alchemists on the plaza feel a sudden relief. That lethal, draining force has vanished. It has stopped. We're saved.
Everyone, having just cheated death,
Stares in utter shock at the figure enveloped in the massive black torrent up in the sky.
Their minds are completely blank. This isn't just alchemy.
he is literally refining the entire world.
Meanwhile, you ignore the entire world. As the endless stream of waste materials floods into the furnace, the power of the system compresses, strips, and reorganizes them to the absolute extreme,
The filthiest toxins are dissolved into absolute nothingness.
while the purest life force and shattered laws of this world's origin are refined and condensed. Bit by bit, slowly, a brilliant emerald-like glow begins to pierce through the very center of that pitch-black torrent.
Just a tiny sliver of this escaping aura instantly revives the withered plants and trees below.
And completely reinvigorates the souls of the 100,000 alchemists.
At that moment, all 100,000 alchemists in the arena forgot to breathe.
They stared blankly, utterly mesmerized by the divine miracle in the sky. In the end, no words were needed. Every single one of them, without a word, bowed their proud heads to you as you stood high in the heavens. This wasn't just submission.
It was a holy pilgrimage. No, this is impossible. The Pill God Hall Master shrieked, watching his fading heaven and earth desolate
Him completely lost his mind. A grand scheme he had plotted for over 1,000 years
had actually been utterly ruined by you, using nothing but a pile of worthless trash.
My ascension pill, it's mine.
He completely snapped, letting out a wild, furious roar as the full power of his soul transformation cultivation erupted.
Transforming into a streak of blinding light, he slammed his palm down toward you with lethal force. go down in flames. That single strike literally tore through space. To a mere great golden core cultivator like you, this strike was like the wrath of heaven, reducing you to nothing but dust. Yet, you didn't even spare him a glance. You merely uttered a single word, cool and detached. Instantly, a massive branch of the swirling scrap metal torrent split off, instantly wrapping around your body like rusty armor. Highly toxic pill dregs and burnt remnants of ruined talismans swirled and flew around you in a mysterious, gravity-defying dance.
With a sharp, metallic clang,
A simple, yet incredibly domineering set of pitch-black armor materialized over your body. As the Pill God Hall Master's world-shattering strike crashed down with absolute destructive intent, it slammed squarely against your chest. But that terrifying destructive energy was like a clay ox entering the ocean, disappearing instantly without a trace. It was entirely absorbed and neutralized by countless tiny vortexes swirling on the surface of your armor. You stood there, completely unfazed, without moving an inch. What? The Pill God Hall Master's pupils shrunk to the size of needles. For the very first time, a look of utter, sheer disbelief washed over his face. Too bad you didn't give him any time to process it. It's time your power returned to its rightful owner. You took a deep breath.
The myriad creation furnace within you roared to life at full capacity.
Taking the massive raw energy of that soul transformation strike, along with the very world essence stripped from the endless ocean of scrap metal, and violently flooding it into your limbs and bones, shattering your cultivation bottlenecks.
What on earth was happening? Crack! Your golden core shattered. Your nascent soul was born as your terrifying aura skyrocketed. With absolutely no signs of slowing down,
Your newly formed nascent soul opened its mouth, taking a massive gulp. As even more world essence was swallowed down, you surged from early nascent soul to mid-nascent soul, to late nascent soul, and straight to peak nascent soul, all in a matter of mere breaths. Your cultivation level had just violently skyrocketed from the great circle of golden core all the way to peak nascent soul. And right at that moment, up on the high platform, a figure who had been completely ignored this entire time,
Jiawoji,
Loratown, a dark flicker of pure resentment flashing in his.
he spotted his chance during your standoff with the Pill Temple Master.
冷亭飞时啊，肃清修碧落。
As long as he captured her, he could distract you.
Yet, Su Qingshu only spared him a cold, calm glance. From her storage ring, she pulled out the dusty gray orb you had given her, the super slag shock orb. Without even looking, she threw it straight at him,
Jiawozi smeared in disdain,
reaching out to casually swat it away. But the orb silently burst in midair, and a gray shockwave instantly swept over him.
In an instant, Jiawoji felt the demonic power inside him hit its ultimate bane.
All of his chaotic energy and deep-seated malice were violently stripped away.
My cultivation. It's being erased.
He let out a desperate shriek, collapsing limply to the ground,
Completely ruined.
high up in the sky. That battle had already reached a whole new level. Neither you nor the Pill Temple Master had moved a muscle, but the domains you represented were clashing fiercely.
Behind him loomed a dark, devouring eagle.
Representing absolute plunder. Beneath your feet swirled a dark vortex, representing rebirth. Your path is one of endless greed,
Only knowing how to strip the earth bare.
which will only leave the world withered and dead.
Your voice thundered through the heavens,
Each word carrying the weight of absolute authority. As you spoke, you controlled the furnace, drawing the very last trace of toxic impurities from the skies of the Cauldron continent into it. The sky cleared, restoring an unprecedented brilliance.
At that exact moment,
The embryonic form of a pill slowly emerged from the center of the furnace. Upon its surface, the flowing essence of mountains and rivers seemed to swirl, radiating a wave of pure, limitless life energy. The prototype of the 9th grade heaven-mending pill had finally appeared. It was the true essence of the world itself. The Pill Temple Master's breathing instantly grew heavy. The ascension pill he had spent 1,000 years plotting for was absolute garbage compared to this. His sanity was completely consumed by greed.
it's mine. It's all mine. He abandoned all defenses.
Linging like a madman straight toward the heaven-mending pill,
You looked at him.
a flicker of pity in your eyes. Since you want it so badly, then I'll let you personally experience what it means to return to the source. You didn't stop him. Just as the Pill Temple Master's hand was about to touch the heaven-mending pill, you triggered the ultimate authority of the crucible of creation. An irresistible force of evolution erupted from the prototype of the ancient heaven pill. The Lord of the Alchemy Temple shrieked in terror as the vitalities he had forcibly stolen through the array seemed to find their true master at this very moment. They surged out of his body, cheering uncontrollably, and actively merged into the crucible, stripped of all his stolen power.
The Alchemy Temple Lord's body, along with his deity transformation stage cultivation,
Rapidly became transparent and illusory in the blinding light, like a deflating balloon. In the end, he dissolved into a wisp of smoke, completely vanishing from heaven and earth.
he wasn't defeated by you.
He was reclaimed by this world. And at that exact moment, the sky above the 9 heavens shifted violently.
Rumbling deeply, massive, suffocating tribulation clouds gathered out of thin air.
Furious purple lightning snakes trashed across the sky, powerful enough to obliterate entire continents. The wrath of heaven locked dead onto the defiant divine pill right before your eyes. the 9 heavens purple lightning tribulation. The heavenly Tao would not allow this miraculous creation to exist in the world. The tribulation lightning crashed straight down. Everyone in the square was scared out of their wits. But then, you made a move that shocked every single soul there to their core. You deactivated the array. You abandoned all defenses. You even reached out and pushed the heaven-mending pill directly into the center of the lightning tribulation, letting that devastating 9 heavens purple lightning, strong enough to obliterate a deity transformation master, pierce through your body and strike violently onto the heaven-mending pill. Your voice, filled with a resolve that saw through everything, echoed across, "Come, temperate, return justice to this world." Yet, the purple lightning did not destroy the pill core. Instead, it acted as the ultimate purification, stripping away the very last trace of impurity. And your body became the divine bridge connecting heaven and the pill. The wrath of heaven was no longer a punishment. It became the ultimate refinement, with heaven and earth serving as the furnace, and the tribulation lightning as the flame. A resonant chime of the Tao echoed across the entire continent. The tribulation clouds dispersed, and brilliant light filled the sky. The grade 9 ancient heaven pill was complete. At that exact moment, the final bottleneck inside you was shattered by the pure resonance of the great Tao. Deity transformation stage. You suspended in midair, your black hair fluttering wildly.
Your eyes like a vast sea of stars.
You are now the very embodiment of the Tao of alchemy in this world.
The 100,000 alchemists in the square could no longer stand.
They bow to you in the sky, performing the most ancient and solemn alchemical salute. He succeeded. If he swallows it, he will ascend in broad daylight, becoming the greatest alchemy immortal of all time. Everyone's eyes are on you, burning with anticipation. They are waiting for you to ascend to greatness in a single bound. Slowly, you raise your hand. The ancient heavenly pill falls right into your palm. You feel its immense power, a power capable of reshaping the entire universe. You look down at the sea of faces below, all filled with absolute awe. Then, you look toward the horizon at the scarred and devastated land. Finally, your gaze falls upon Su Qingxiu. She simply beams with a radiant smile, just like the day you two first met. And you smile back. And then, right before the eyes of the entire world, you suddenly shatter that 9th grade ancient heavenly pill, the one holding the future of the entire world, dispersing it into nothingness. To ascend alone. I want none of it. Countless gasps of shock ring out, but it is too late. The ancient heavenly pill shatters into billions of dazzling specks of starlight, showering the entire Danning continent like a grand rain of spiritual energy. The rain of light pours into the dried-up dragon veins, and spiritual energy begins to surge once more. The rain of light washes over the barren desert, coaxing extinct spiritual herbs to sprout from the soil, and drifting into the home of every ordinary mortal. Old wounds and chronic illnesses are quietly cured. On the square, 100,000 alchemists bathe in the spiritual rain, feeling the bottlenecks that have troubled them for years suddenly break wide open. At this moment, every living soul on the Danding continent is blessed by your grace. In the end, no matter where they are, hundreds of millions of cultivators and commoners alike bow down and kowtow in your direction. Their voices, like a roaring ocean, merge into a grand, thunderous chant. We respectfully bid farewell to the saint ancestor of alchemy. Later on, you refused to become the ruler of the world. Instead, you and Su Qingxu established the Alchemy Cayenne Alliance, sharing countless foundational pill recipes with the public without holding anything back. An era where anyone and everyone can refine pills is officially ushered in by you. Having done all of this, you and Su Qingxu quietly fade away, and no one ever learns of your whereabouts again. Several years later, in a remote mountain village, a coward boy with hair tied in a topknot is using a crude mud furnace to refine a dark round pill with nothing but a few weeds he plucked on a whim. And just like that, he cures his family's old ox. Up on the distant hillside, you and Su Qingxu are sitting side by side. She gently rests her head on your shoulder. "Look," she whispers. "You actually did it." You smile softly and tighten your grip on her hand. The sky is crystal blue, and the breeze is warm and gentle. This is the true world you wanted, where alchemy belongs to every living thing.